Okay. Hello, Tarot Tribe. We are live. Thank you all for joining us on this beautiful Thursday evening. It's great to see you all again. I hope you had a wonderful week. I'm excited to be back. And if you're new here, tonight is the night where I share some messages from Spirit with you to inspire and guide you through the week. And we will also open up the chat to your own personalized free mini readings as well. So if you have a question or topic or would just like a general reading, please let us know in the chat by typing !reading and your topic or question if you have one. And my wonderful moderator and wife, Candy Heartsart, will put you in the queue and we'll get you in. And the queue does fill up fairly quickly as we go on. So don't be shy. Don't hesitate to ask your questions. It's great to see you all back here. I see some familiar faces tonight and some new ones. And as always, if you're new here, you can support us by subscribing to the channel, liking this video, clicking the bell icon so you always know when we have a live or new upload to watch. And we also do accept donations, which are greatly appreciated. And the link to donate is in the chat, being posted pretty regularly as well. So, like right there. So first, let us clear the air a bit. I always like to smudge. If you've been here before, then you know I like to do a little bit of smudge to just clear the energy in the air, give us a fresh start for the week. Oh, welcome in, Natasha. It's great to see you and Olga here, two of my students from my most recent tarot class, my beginner's tarot class, where you can learn to read tarot for yourself and others in just a few hours with me and us on Zoom. And the link for that is also posted, pinned here in the comments. So if you'd like to learn more about that, the next one is going off this Sunday. It's great to see my students in here. So thank you for joining us as well. And we will get to all the readings, all the individual readings, including yours, Natasha. Welcome in, Phoenix, as well. Great to see you back. But first, to begin, we will do a collective reading, just some general inspiration for the week for all of us. And before I start, let me just get some of these folks in the queue here. And Phoenix, you're in. Olga is also in this list. Okay. Just update that. And then we will get to the group reading. So just bear with us a moment. Okay. Okay. So first off and foremost, group reading. So last week we pulled, if I remember correctly, it was like the Star, the Seven of Swords, and the Ace of Pentacles. So the reading was very much about sort of looking forward and looking for that divine inspiration in your life to help guide you, and also to be careful not to really look back over your shoulder too much as you move forward, staying fixed on where you're headed and all the goodness to come. And with that, some new opportunities for prosperity and riches would be delivered to us. So I hope that all proved true for all of you. I know it certainly seemed to pan out that way for me this week. So let's see what else we can learn to guide us going into the next week. Oh, thank you, Natasha. It's a wonderful class, and it's wonderful to have you in there learning with us on Sunday. One more good shuffle. Let me just a little better. Okay. So for this week, what do we need to know? What do we need to know? Ooh, a Knight of Cups. Very good. The Nine of Wands. That came up in one of my my own personal pulls again. In the Eight of Swords. The swords are back. How very interesting. So there is this need and a bit of a drive to establish some lasting peace, really like peace of mind, some calm. And the Knight of Cups is a very sort of calm force. He is moving forward, but not galloping so, moving steadily and carefully. And so we've been seeking this, especially as we are trying to move forward with things in our lives. So this may show up through some sign or our own internal inspiration. It may also show up as a message from another person, someone actually external to us. But this is something that we're sort of craving and needing as we go into the next week or two to sort of bring us back to ourselves a bit as we are pushing forward with a lot of exciting things, as we are following that guidance of the star from last week. It is a reminder to stay grounded and stay calm and within yourself. Don't get too carried away. And some things we can do to help with this. One is to really take some time and look back at your past achievements. It is easy to forget that everything you've done in your past has led you to this point. And so even if you've changed course throughout your life, like let's just say in your career, say you're like me and you've worked like 4 different careers in your life. I could look back on my past careers, which had nothing to do with tarot reading or transformational coaching or any of the things that I do now. And I could look at that and say, well, years, decades literally of my life working in IT, working as a chef were essentially a waste because they weren't the thing that I'm doing now that I believe really is the right thing for me. Well, that's a really sort of broken attitude, and it's easy to kind of fall into that, especially as you're getting to almost 45 years old, like Candy and I will be next week. But it's just not true. Everything you did in your past, even if you've completely changed directions, even if it just seems like you were doing nothing for periods of time, they were all essential. They all had to happen to lead you to exactly this moment right here and now. And so look back on that and see that as accomplishment. See that as part of the hard work you've put forward in your life as you go forward. And that will help bring some peace of mind and satisfaction to you, I think. And the other piece of this is the 8 of Swords. So as we are facing challenges, facing ways in which we are sort of stuck in our lives, we also must realize that 98% of the obstacles and challenges in our life are essentially put forward or created by our own minds and created by our perspective on things. And that's not to say that people don't have very real challenges. That's not to take anything away from the things that you are facing, even things like a physical health condition. Like you didn't just ask for that. You certainly don't deserve to have, say, a chronic illness if that's what you're dealing with. But you truly have a lot more power to heal from that than you've been led to believe. And there's no shame in that, first of all. Understand it's not your fault that you believe that. That is how society has been constructed to make all of us dependent on all of this industry and sort of the machine, the system, or the matrix, a lot of people like to call it, coming from the movie. And it's very disempowering, but the 8 of Swords here is to remind you that you do have the power to break free of these things. And the right mindset will lead you to the things that you need to heal. And so that can be a very positive and exciting thing when you take stock of that. And so really sit with that and come back to that space of knowing that you are capable and that everything that you have done has been the right thing up until this moment. There is no lost time because it's easy to get into that mentality. So I hope that really gives us some guidance and inspiration moving forward into the next week. Okay, checking back with the chat, and we're getting everyone in now. Great. So welcome in Culture, Nevada, Cool Libra's in, Melons Maloney, welcome back. all of my regulars. Beautiful to see all of you here. Let me get you all added into the queue, and then we'll get right to all your personal readings. So just bear with me one moment. Let's see, Cool Libra's next. And for a lot of my regulars who have just arrived, just to let you know, I am teaching my Transformative Tarot for Beginners class on Sunday. It's 3 hours Sunday afternoon. It's $18 for the class. And it's a great way to learn to read tarot for yourself and others. There's no greater way to get benefit and value out of the art of tarot than to learn it for yourself. And it's very easy. You don't have to memorize anything. And I have a few of my students from the last class in here tonight, namely Natasha and Olga, and they can speak to how wonderful an experience it was. And they are all reading confidently and beautifully since that class. And it's been such a great joy to see them engage with tarot and learn it and take to it just so beautifully. So you can get more information on that. It's in the link that's pinned in the comments if you want to sign up or find out more. And I encourage all of you to it. And to welcome in Kate. It's good to see you tonight as well. Hearts Frontier. Let me get you into the queue. And now that I'm done plugging my class. Okay, so everyone is up to date in the queue. So we'll start it off with Natasha. And for you, Natasha, I feel like a lot of that group guidance it's for all of us. It seems like it definitely plays into your question about your general reading. I feel like this is all very much for you. So okay, Natasha, let's shuffle up. Actually, you know what? I think to start, we are going to go to the Crow deck. And so this is the Crow deck, in case many of you have not seen it, but all the main subjects it's basically a crow theme. So all the cards, like the devil, are all the crow. It's one of my favorite sort of more modern decks that I read from. And I think you'll really enjoy this, especially you, Natasha, being a student of mine. Just give you an idea of what reading is like from some slightly different tarot decks. Likes to mix it up. We have all the flyouts for you. Well, I think those two are yours. Oh, there's all three cards. So there's your three cards right here. That is definitely yours. Ooh, and Wheel of Fortune. Ooh, very exciting. So there's a lot of very good and positive things here in this for you, Natasha. First of all, the King of Pentacles. So while I realize you changed your question, this definitely does hit on, the Pentacles, hit on all the physical manifestations in the world. So this is a growing and maturing and solidifying, a strengthening, if you will, of all of the physical things in your life. So that's an improvement in your bank account and finances. I sense for you an even bigger improvement in your physical health and how you're coping with whatever your struggles may be around physical health and also mental health as well. So a lot of really positive improvement there for you. You're going to start feeling a lot stronger and safer in your body and just more solid. Along with that, we have the Knight of Wands. So new opportunities will be sort of galloping in with some big momentum. So either things that you've just started working on already, or maybe some even newer things that haven't quite shown up, are really going to show up powerfully. And I sense there's going to be a person entering your life who will be a part of these new things and will help propel what you're working on, your great work, your life's work. It will help propel that forward for you and give you some greater momentum. And then finally, we see the Wheel of Fortune. And so the Wheel of Fortune is a very interesting card. It certainly can spell in terms of just general fortune. So that goes along with the king and the knight here, and the wands and pentacles. The Wheel of Fortune, sort of a more deep meaning of it, is really about the wheel of reincarnation. So this idea of karma. And what you're doing and what's going on right now in your life is you're actually clearing out a bunch of karma from past lives. So this is stuff that you've carried forward that you're not even really aware of from past lives, things that, regrets, or things that you did not really, you could have maybe done better, or lessons you didn't learn in those past lives. And often the challenges that show up in this lifetime are related in some way to that, because while you did not consciously choose your parents, you did not consciously choose how and where to be born, your soul did actually, or at least so I believe. And your soul chooses this lifetime, this time and place and parentage to be here, in order to help you experience things that you were not able to, or help you learn lessons that you failed to learn in previous lives. And it's not really about punishment. We tend to think karma is about like this great cosmic punishment, like you do bad things and then bad things happen to you. But it's really about your own learning and exploration and evolution of your soul from one lifetime to the next. And so a lot of the struggles you've dealt with and that you are starting to move past and healing from are really about that. And that is why you are moving into a greater power, greater health, greater work in your life. So that's really beautiful. So just let the momentum of that carry you forward, and don't get too hung up on like trying to make it all like happen or leaning into it too much. Just go with the flow and let that emerge for you, and it will do wonders for you. So I hope that gives you some guidance for this week, Natasha, and thank you so much for your question. And we will move on. We have more people in, more of our so many regulars tonight. I love it. Welcome in Salema and Merlib, and I think I saw a few others. Oh, Braveheart's in. Great to see you, Braveheart. No, great, awesome, great. We will get all of you into the queue right here, and we will move on. So. Salama, we've got you in the queue. Oh, you're welcome, Natasha. I hope that really helps. And I'm glad you were able to sort of experience a reading for me. I don't really read for the students necessarily in our class. I have students reading for each other, which I think is beautiful, and they really love it. So it just lets you get a little sense of like what a reading is like from me. Okay, so up next we have Phoenix Oracle Healing, also requesting a general reading. So let's see what guidance Spirit has for you, Phoenix. Oh, Chargers fan with another martial arts question tonight. I love those. And you will be a bit later in the queue, but we will get to you, Charger fan. While we have time though, if you could clarify what GI is. I know what BJJ is. That's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Oh, gi or no gi? The gi. I know what that is. Never mind. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, but first up, we're getting ahead of everything. Okay, Phoenix Oracle Healing. What messages from Spirit do you are here for you tonight? Let's see. Very interesting. So 3 of Swords. I sense I do sense some emotional pain or anguish here that you've been going through. And it's more in the past and maybe up into the present. Definitely something hurtful in your life, maybe some sense of betrayal of something. And it may be a very past betrayal that you might not haven't really like thought about consciously, but subconsciously and deep down inside, it is there. And it is something that you still need to work through a bit more and maybe come back to. And it seems like someone is going to enter your life. Here's this Knight of Cups again, um, and sort of bring this back up. So I think it's something from far in the past. So there's a pain, there's a hurtful thing there. Some way you were hurt in your past, maybe going back into childhood even. These things often do, and someone is going to enter your life. It may not be it may be someone you already know, but you haven't been in touch with lately. But in some way, they're going to kind of come trotting back in, re-entering your life, and something about your interaction with them will bring this up. I don't know that it's going to be the person that caused that pain initially, but there's just something about this that will sort of trigger these emotions. And again, you may not be hyper aware of it, like it might not be a conscious thought, but you'll start to feel these feelings. It might not even make any sense at first, but they're going to bring these things up. And this is your opportunity to go and to essentially release some of this and just allow yourself to feel it, let it move through you. But also know that whatever happened in the past, that is not your whole story. It certainly did happen, and you have to acknowledge that pain, but it doesn't truly define who you are. You are something far greater and more than whatever this was, this hurtful thing. And so the night is a gift. It is an opportunity and a reminder to heal from this, to allow this stuff to flow out of you so that you're not carrying it around anymore. And that's going to allow you to open up to greater friendship and community. So as you go through this, take time and be with friends and family and people that you're close with, people that fill your cup, who are not toxic, who really nourish you emotionally as a person, and lean into that. And that's going to help you move through and get to the next level of transforming whatever this painful thing is into something powerful and beautiful within your life. So I hope that serves you well. I know that's not the most fun thing to hear about, but again, when challenges present themselves to us, we are prepared and able to turn them into something really good and powerful in our lives. So I hope that helps you do that. So thank you for your question, Phoenix. We will move on. And Olga, you're up next. Let me just, we're always updating the queue. We got Relieve in here. Can't get Braveheart in. Okay. Okay, we got a bunch more readings. Okay, there we go. Here's the updated. Oh, welcome in, bruh. Bruh, man. Okay, Olga, you're up. Olga, you asked for a general reading as well. And if for some reason you check out of the live and you miss your reading, these are always posted on the YouTube right afterwards on my YouTube channel, so you can replay these anytime. And it looks like I have mostly returning fans here tonight, but if for some reason you haven't already, again, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. Click the bell icon. I've always got new stuff going up. We're always doing lives every week, so you just want to make sure that you hear about it and you don't miss out. We are definitely filling up tonight. Okay. Okay, Olga, you're up. Let's see. What do we got? Ooh, Six of Pentacles. Oh, there's the Knight of Wands again. Everyone's kind of galloping forward with a lot of exciting things. Moving forward with a lot of projects and career and purposeful work in our lives. And I just love to see that, you know. It's good to rest and relax, certainly at times, but right now, especially as we're entering the summer, it is a phase, I think, overall of a lot of progress and moving forward with our exciting big dreams in life. So, Olga, here we have. First, I see the Six of Pentacles here. And so this is this card that is very much about giving and charity and the balance of these things. And this relates a bit to your past. And so I sense that there are times in your past where you have given a lot of yourself, and maybe to people who were not really the best to receive it. And so you've given a lot of yourself and really maybe regretted it because they took advantage of you. They just sort of latched onto you and kept taking and taking. And that's a tough thing because we are meant to serve, to give to the world. And the more we serve and give, the more we receive. But this card reminds us, and it's hard, maybe hard to see it in this version, but the crow here is holding the scale, which is the same as in the Rider-Waite Tarot. The main character is holding the scale and then giving out stuff with the other hand. And so the scale is always about balance in tarot. And so this is a reminder that you need to be somewhat discerning about what you give to others, who you give to, and how much you give of yourself. That sometimes it's necessary to set boundaries and to pull back with that a bit, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that you're not a sharing person, you're not being compassionate and kind and serving others. But if you completely destroy your own life in the process of helping other people and giving things to them, then you're not going to be able to give anything to anyone. So it's a reminder of your past. Again, I sense this has crept up in your past at times. And moving more into the present and into the future of your life, that has, of course, created situations where maybe you have closed yourself off a bit when it would have been more beneficial to be open and be more receptive, because of, again, like very understandable, like past regrets over giving of yourself. And so the Knight of Wands is here, and it's here to remind you of the momentum of this. You are moving into a new space where it is time to start engaging in more of that giving so that you can receive even further and grow. And the real key here is, in this case, is to really trust your heart in this and be discerning when you're deciding how and when to give of yourself and to whom. The sun shining here, I think, is a big symbol of that, because the sun really is like your true divine self. It is the part of you that comes directly from divinity, your divine self. And so as long as you stay in tune with that and don't get too in your head about it, you will make the right choices about where to place your energy and charity with other people, and that's going to help further your purposeful work in the world, the business, career, and things that you're working on. And in the process, here I would look at the Five of Cups as sort of an outcome of this. Sort of the greater transformation in that isn't just progress in like your career and your business, things you're doing, but sort of a letting go, sort of sort of letting go of some of these past beliefs and feelings of like where again where your giving had gone wrong for you, had sort of people have taken advantage of you. And so you're going to shed some of this emotional baggage. And it's hard to really put a real label or name or face to that, but you will feel it. You'll just feel things opening up and getting lighter and easier for you. So just really listen to your heart and follow it closely about deciding when and how to place your attention and time and energy with people. And you're going to really have a really great few weeks moving forward if you do that. So I really hope that was I really hope that was helpful for you, Olga. And certainly reach out to me if you would like any clarification on that. Being a student of mine allows you to be in the tarot. You're in the Tarot Tribe WhatsApp group where we all share our tarot studies and work with each other. And I help people to continue to learn. And you can be a part of that if you join us this Sunday for our Transformative Tarot for Beginners class. And it's 3 hours on Zoom with me and some other beautiful souls like yourself, learning to read tarot for yourself and others. It's just $18. And if you want to know more about that or sign up, the link is pinned in the comment by Nightbot, right at the bottom of the chat. So thanks again for that. Okay, moving on. We're on to Cool Libra. And Cool Libra also would like a general. Welcome in Leo Moon, or I should say welcome back. Okay. Let me save this. There we go. Okay, Cool Libra, you're in. Welcome in, Panya. Okay, Cool Libra, here's your general reading for the week. Let's see. So we have the Seven of Swords, Knight of Pentacles for you, and the Nine of Swords. Ooh, very interesting. King of Pentacles. I said Knight of Pentacles earlier. I apologize. Seeing a lot of the King of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups tonight. So very strong themes there. A lot of forward-moving energy and solidifying energy around our careers, our health, and our emotional lives as well. That includes relationships and romance. And I do see we have definitely have some love readings in here tonight. And we will get to those as we go along. But for you, Cool Libra, Seven of Swords. So some of that past, you're someone who throughout a lot of your life, you've done a lot of looking over your shoulder. And so when you've succeeded at things or things have gone well, I sense that you've had trouble sort of trusting that it is actually good, that the victory or the thing that you gained is lasting. And that's a common pattern for a lot of us humans. And it's a tough one to get over because as you push forward in life and you try to evolve and do bigger and greater things, it really gets tough when like you can never really feel like your progress is real. And you can get into a place where like everyone around you is telling you you're doing great, this is awesome, and your brain will tell you this is not real, this is not going to stick. And so I think you've definitely struggled with quite a bit of that in your past. And then the King of Pentacles, again, coming back to like, you are very strong and established in a lot of ways, more so than you probably feel or think that you are. And you just have to continue to act in that role of the king. When you are doubting yourself, just try to remember, take a step back and just remember, like, you know, if I were, think to yourself that like this: if I were the person that I'm trying to become, like, how would I act? You have to sort of act from that place of like you're already there. That's a very tricky thing to do, especially if you're trying to do something big that's hard for you to imagine success at. But we can put ourselves there because essentially you're already there. You really are. Again, your mind is just playing tricks on you. So that's a lot of your work right now. A lot of your inner work is just building on that foundation and really, again, reminding yourself of how much you have accomplished and seeing that it's real and it is stable. So all these sort of practices of gratitude that people might do, like a simple one is just have a gratitude jar. Something we do here at home, and I love it. And just get some kind of jar, decent sized jar, and like a stack of Post-it notes and a pen. And every day, just write the date and just write something to be grateful for, and just really take a moment to be grateful for it. It can be small things, it can be big things, but just be very genuine and intentional about it. And then at the end of the year, this is how we do it. Candy and I will pull the gratitude jar out on like New Year's Eve. We don't really go out and party or anything. And we'll read through all of them. And then we'll like burn them, in some little fire in the fire pit, or we have a little grill actually, and throw them in there and kind of just say goodbye to everything and practice gratitude that way. So that's like a simple thing, but it can really help you sort of see and feel that you are stable, and that your wins, your successes really are real and they're lasting. And the Nine of Swords is just sort of the conclusion of that. It is really like you putting your mind and those doubts into place and conquering them in a big way. And that's what the Nine of Swords speaks to here as well. So that's what Spirit is calling you towards going forward in the next few weeks. And so maybe start that gratitude jar, or you can journal it however you want. And there's other great practices of gratitude you can look up and learn about. That's just one that I like to use because it's pretty simple. So thank you for your question, Cool Libra. You are definitely very close. And up next, we have Culture Nevada. I assume the envy is for Nevada, but maybe not. I often get people's names confused and wrong in the chat. But that's a-okay. Okay. Culture envy. Or maybe it's supposed to be like envy, like envying, like I have envy of a culture. I don't know. Culture envy asks, how can I be victorious at work tomorrow? Oh, I love the victory questions. These are great. It's such a joy to read for all of you. So thank you all for showing up. I do so many readings on these Thursday nights, and it just flies by. It certainly doesn't feel like work. It's just wonderful. So just want to thank all of you for showing up and supporting us. Oh, how will I be victorious at work tomorrow? Asks Culture Envy. Okay. Culture, not vulture. I love it. Ah, the Tower. Okay. Well, and 10 of coins. Oh my. And the Empress. Well, some powerful. So this is a powerful reading. So I see victory here, no doubt. And like in a big way. So this looks like you. I don't know what the exact situation is, but you're going to show up tomorrow, and whatever's going on, whether it's a conflict that you're involved in or you're just trying to get a proposal through, or again, I don't know the nature of your work, but you will be victorious. And your victory is really, and why it's probably been such a struggle, why it's been felt so difficult to achieve this victory, is that you are really, what you're doing is threatening and breaking down the old order of things at your job, at work. And it is starting to create change. And of course, a lot of people in a business and an institution, they fear that. Human beings do really will fight to protect the status quo, even if that status quo isn't really helpful anymore. It's just how we're wired to a big extent. So that's what you're fighting against, and you are making it happen. You really are breaking down this old order. So 10 of coins is the victory and the results of all of that. It's really quite beautiful because you actually have, it's the riches of community. And so I sense that a lot of your coworkers and other people around you in this workplace really do support you and are behind you, but they probably have been very quiet about it because they're afraid of, reprisal from management or whatever. They're afraid to break down the status quo, but they are with you. And as you turn out victorious in this, I think what will happen is once you sort of win the victory, a lot of people are going to come up to you, maybe more privately, and be like, I knew you were right. I was pulling for you. I'm so happy for you. And how can I help you going forward, and that kind of thing. And so that's beautiful. And the bigger gain in this isn't just sort of that outpouring of your community, your coworkers and peers. There is a transformation within you that is emerging here too. It's an evolution of you into a greater strength. And the Empress is always like this strength, and it's also like growing and nurturing things. And so it is like this greater thing of your ability to create goodwill and to create, essentially teams, and to bring people in together around you to work together. The Empress is often sort of this idea of pregnancy, really, but it isn't always just necessarily actual like physical pregnancy. It is, again, your ability to nurture something greater and sort of put that out into the world and sort of give birth to that. And so that's like the next step of this as well. So you're really going to move forward and do some great things. Welcome in, Virgo. We are quite full, but we will get you in, Virgo. We will make sure we get you on the list. If you would like to have a free reading, just let us know in the chat. Blessed, we will get you in. Panya, I'm so glad to hear that the truck worked out well, and thank you for letting me know, because I always like to know if my readings are accurate or not, and if they aren't, you are welcome to tell me. I'm always trying to get better and serve all of you as best I can. So also thank you, all the noobs, for subscribing. Super helpful to us. I'm really hoping to get to the 500 subscriber count by September. We'll see. I think we can do it. I really think we can do it. And you can all help. Another way you can help is let your friends, people you know, let them know about these lives. Share it out to them if they would like a free reading. It's a lot of fun and it's really insightful. Tell all your friends. And you can help us get to our goal of 500 subs and 300 watch hours, which means I get to have super chats and a bunch of other cool things. So, okay, Melons Maloney. Will I get rent house by fall? Will I be able to rent a house by fall? Okay. Okay, Melons Maloney, what's going on with the house rental? We have the Hierophant. Interesting. Queen of Wands and Seven of Wands. Very interesting. So there is this sense of like this divine order about your ability to rent this house and where you're going to rent. And I think for you, and what I sense is like, it may almost seem like you need divine intervention to make this happen. You know, finding a place to live and rent, renting and moving and all that is like such a hullabaloo. You know, it's just such a production. And it always is stressful, I think, for all of us, And Candy and I have been fortunate in some ways. It's been a long time since we moved, but we did move a few times, and we moved very far across the country to get here to Colorado. But the point being, sometimes I think maybe we almost feel like it's like moving heaven and earth to make it happen. And so the Queen of Wands here is a little bit of like a reminder of like maybe don't get too wrapped up in that feeling. Because spirit will move and align everything for you as you need it to be. It will take care of things for you. So try to approach it and feel, less about like I'm getting like I need like I'm desperately asking the universe, please bring this thing to me. But more like I'm excited about whatever the universe brings to me because it will be exactly what I need. And that's going to help everything move forward as you sort of try to get more into that energy. And so I sense you're going to have some good progress on this house. But I think there's going to be some road bumps too. So Seven of Wands is like one of these like universe telling you to hold up kind of cards. So it's a very interesting sort of interplay with these two. And what it tells me is that I think you're going to find an opportunity and sort of last minute, that opportunity won't work out. But that will lead you to an even better opportunity. So like you might find a place, you might apply, look into it. It might seem like you're going to get it, and then maybe you don't. And that might be a little bit earlier, like before fall. And then as you get closer to fall, you will find the right place and it will happen for you. So there'll be this like road bump, so prepare for that. And again, try to relax, which is can't try to relax. That's, but relax as best you can. Step away from it. If it starts to feel frustrating and difficult, just pull back from it for a little bit. Let it be for a few days and just give it space because it is all organizing. So ultimately, you're going to get there. You're going to get that house, I think. But you may, again, have another place before that you try to rent and it kind of doesn't work out, kind of thing. And that's the sense that I'm getting. That's the message I'm getting from Spirit. So I hope that makes some sense. I wasn't rambling too much. Okay, so Jillian, Siobhan, you will be the last reading. Let me take a moment to get everyone updated so we know who's in the queue. We got so many tonight, which is awesome. Thank you all. Let me get the rest of you in here. Yep. And okay, so we had Magic Dust, then we have Bruh Man. That's a great username, right? That's fun. Then Leo Moon, then Panya. I'm glad you got your request in when you did, Panya. We are filling up this evening. But I promise, if you're on this list right now, we're getting you on there. You will get your reading. I will stay on right up to the bitter end. So Jillian Siobhan will be the last one. coming up next, we have Speak Knowledge, and then it'll be, okay, let's save this so you can actually see it on your screen. There we go. Okay. So we'll save that, and then we are going to, so if anyone did not get on the list at this point, I apologize, but that is all the readings we'll be able to do tonight. Thank you all so much for showing up, and just hang tight with us. Let me just change my text, my chat bot here. Okay, great. All right, Speak Knowledge. So you are up, and your question was a general reading. So we will stay with the Crow Tarot tonight, which I really like. You're welcome, Speak Knowledge. It's always a joy to read for you and everyone else here. Where are we time-wise? Okay, we're doing really good on time, too. Okay, Speak Knowledge. Here is your general reading. Ooh, the Hanged Man. I haven't seen the Hanged Man very much lately. And the Moon. Ooh, a lot of sort of deep introspection here. Okay, Hanged Man. So here the Hanged Man is telling me that you've definitely like put in some time. You've paid your dues in a lot of ways. This shows some past of like working your way through some discomfort for greater gain. And you actually have a pretty strong ability to lean into uncomfortable situations when they will actually bring you something greater. And it goes beyond just like, material things. It's really about your evolution as a person. So you've gone through this. This is something you already sort of achieved. And now the results of that and sort of the rewards are going to start showing up very soon. And that's the Eight of Coins. And so your work, the things that you do, will continue to get easier for you, will continue to be more prosperous. And so the hard work that you put in will bring you more and more. So you can't completely stop. You still have to keep working at things, but you can pull back a little bit. You can take it a little bit easier because you've stepped into like this great power in your life right now. Some great things are coming from it. Just keep moving forward at a pace that is good and sustainable for you, that feels good. And the Moon is just sort of the alignment of those deeper parts of yourself, the things that you haven't been as in tune with or aware of. They're emerging, and in really good and powerful ways. So these things are becoming parts of your greater strength, and they're coming to the forefront in ways that are allowing you to prosper in greater ways. And that may seem a bit vague, but it's very powerful. There's some very powerful transformations that you were going through in this phase of things. And I think it's really going to start to click, and you're going to start to really realize that consciously going into the next couple of weeks. So just enjoy that. Enjoy that and celebrate it, because that's a beautiful place to be. So thank you for your reading, your question, and we will get on to Heart's Frontier, my good friend Kate. And let's see what you've got, Kate. Okay, so for you, your question, your topic is curious about my career and financial energies for June, how to align for the most sort of flow and fun possible. Still trying to get to Scotland by summer and catch up with your friend and hopefully catch a date with this person too. And it does seem like all these things are actually very much related. So let's see what we can find for you. What guidance can we receive for you today? All righty. Ooh, 6 of Cups. 7 of Cups. Oh, all the cups, Kate. Okay. Well, I like these cards, and they really speak very directly to about 90% of your questions. So that's nice because it makes my job kind of easy as a reader here. So, one, we have the 6 of Cups. Is this card of like return to that playful, childlike innocence and sort of joy in life? And so that's going to flourish and permeate all of your experiences going into the summer and through the summer. That will certainly show up in terms of your career and your financial energy. So while you certainly are working at all the things that you do, it's going to flow more. It's going to become more fun and more enjoyable, and just really start to click. So I think some of these things are going to grow pretty organically, without a ton of like extra effort on your part. I have a sense that a lot of the spirit led business coaching is probably going to expand more or less on its own. Again, not with you not having to do a ton of work, but just through the word of mouth and the bit of posting and stuff that you're doing. And those clients will come to you easily and just really help things grow along with all the other pieces of your various businesses that you're, and endeavors that you're engaged in. So that's really starting to blossom. And that's really beautiful. The 7 of Cups here is a very small sort of challenge in that with the growth of all these things, you might struggle a bit in terms of feeling kind of pulled every which way, because things are, you're sort of lost in this giddy sort of flow. So you do have to be just a little bit mindful of sticking with the things that are really sort of working and feel right, and not get too much sucked into the ooh shiny kind of thing. Again, it happens to all of us human beings, some of us more than others. As you know, I struggle with that a lot, but that's going to creep in a little bit. You're going to have a little bit of that, just like, oh man, everything is great. Like, and it is. But just don't abandon the things that really are working. Don't get too wrapped up in the truly like new and like novel thing. Um, try to just try to stay a little bit grounded with that. And then also speaking to sort of making it to Scotland, because this is part of meeting up with friends. 3 of Cups, again, another classic card of sort of friendship, and community and joyful friendship. So suggesting that part of the thing that you need to stay focused on is actually meeting up with your friend on this trip. Stay focused on making it for this date, because I have a very strong sense that date is going to happen. It's going to be a wonderful thing. So stick with that. The business will grow. Really don't let too much of your business and career stuff pull you too far away from these community piece, from meeting up with your friends and stuff. That is equally as important as all the other stuff that you're doing. And I think that's what 7 of Cups here is really talking about. So yes. Yeah, my forever challenge is not going too far away from urgent income. Well, yeah. And Kate, because we talk about this every week. And just so the rest of the group knows, so Kate is a good friend of mine, and also I am a member of Kate's spirit-led business group coaching. And so Kate gives me some guidance in growing this business with all of you every week, and she's wonderful at it. And so you can always reach out to her if you were looking for that sort of coaching and guidance in your life. I highly recommend her. And so that's why we're always going on like this little inside joke that many of you are like, what are they talking about? But yeah. So yeah, we all have to kind of, it's easy to get pulled away from the things that are really sort of working when you do this kind of work. So thank you for that, Kate. It's always good to see you here. And we will get to Braveheart. And then after Braveheart, we'll take our break. I'll take my 5-10 minutes, and then we'll get to everyone else left in the list. So don't worry if you're on the screen on the list. We will absolutely get to you. If you've come in and you're not on the list, we are unfortunately filled up for free readings for the night. But please be sure to come back next week. Just subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss it. And if you get in here a little bit earlier, I'm sure we can squeeze you in. So Braveheart asks, what does management think about me so far? I started a job about 2 weeks ago. Well, I'm really glad. That is 2 weeks and you're there. So that's a good sign unto itself. Let's see what management thinks. Let's ask Spirit, what does the managers think about you? So we have Page of Swords. Okay. The Fool. And Three of Wands. Well, this is very interesting. So here's what I get. Here's what management is dealing with. The management where you are, overall, they actually think pretty highly of you. They're pretty happy with your work. The thing is especially like your immediate boss, the person that really is directly in charge of you is somebody who is not the best communicator at times. Page of Swords, sort of this child. Swords is communication and influence and conflict. And so the pages are these very young people. So this person, even if they're not young in age, they're sort of immature and inarticulate, and they're not great with how they communicate and not as thoughtful. So they aren't really doing a good job of expressing this to you, which is maybe why you're questioning and wondering a bit about what they think. Because if it was clear to you that they thought you were wonderful, I assume you wouldn't probably be asking this question, right? Like if they were coming up to you every day, like, you're doing great, we love it. This wouldn't be on your mind. So obviously you have some doubts, but they do think well. And so it is just that they're not expressing this to you right now and doing a good job of expressing it. And that's their hang up. That's your boss's hang up. And it's kind of his issue. And so the Fool here is kind of like, in some small sense, you're the fool in that you're wondering what's going on, am I doing a good job, and feeling like you're not getting a lot of feedback about that. And this will continue for quite a while, I think. And then eventually it will come to a head. And Three of Wands here is really like that. At some point, that dam will break. And they will come to you and be like, you're doing a great job. And you're going to feel like kind of a fool for doubting whether they are happy with you or not. So yeah. And yeah, you sense it, Braveheart. So you have great intuition. And so I think you're feeling that. And yeah, so just stick with it, unless they tell you explicitly you're not doing well. And at the end of the day, like, even if they say something that makes you think they're not happy with you, look, in a job situation, I mean, if you're truly not doing well, you won't have a job there eventually. And so don't get too hung up on it. If you're doubting it, or even if there's like little awkward things where you're like, I don't know, maybe they're not happy with me, just be the fool about it. Like, just keep going, and don't even worry about it. Eventually it'll break and they'll be like, we're really happy with you. Probably when you get to like the end of whatever the sort of probationary kind of period is in a new job. And it's different everywhere, but like 3 months, maybe, something like that. And it'll happen and they will really express that. But you're doing a great job, and they do know it. So don't doubt yourself too much. And thanks again, Braveheart, for showing up tonight. So I have 0 viewers in the chat. I take it that's because we're going to break and everyone's taking their break. So hang tight, everyone. Go grab your favorite beverage, get a nice stretch in. We'll be back. Give me about 10 minutes, and then we'll get going with all the rest of the readings, and we'll continue on. So thank you. Where's my break? Breaks. Okay, we're back from break. Thank you all for hanging out and waiting. Um, Sorry it took me a minute, but I was just excited to see and hear that Panya has decided to take the beginner's tarot class with me on this Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Mountain Time. And thank you so much for joining the class, Panya. You're really going to love it. And I'll just break it down for you real quick. And so other people who might be interested can learn about it. Basically, I will teach you a very simple and easy, intuitive method to read tarot for yourself and others in a 3-hour live Zoom class. And so you get to work with me and a number of other wonderful classmates learning to read tarot, and you will read for each other during that time, and you will leave reading confidently. And it's a beautiful thing. We've had wonderful experiences. Already tonight, Natasha and Olga, who were 2 students of mine from the last class, were in here, and they are reading every week. So you get the 3-hour class. You get a lifetime access to replay of the class as well, so you can go back and review. I also give you the option to retake the class going forward if you wish at no additional cost. And that's incredible value unto itself. And more importantly, you get access to our WhatsApp group, the Tarot Tribe, where I will continue to help and support your tarot journey by sharing my own daily card readings and helping you with questions and difficulties around learning tarot. So you get all that, and it's just $18. I highly encourage you to check it out. The link to register and for more information is pinned in the chat. It's www.jojotarot.com/learn_tarot. So just click that link. You can read all about it and get registered. And please do register in advance. We do fill up pretty quickly. And I want to make sure everyone gets in, just like with the readings tonight. So if you're interested in that, I can't recommend it enough. Reading tarot for myself has been such a transformative practice, and it's led me to so much of the healing and transformation in my life for the better. So please consider it, and thank you, Panya, for joining us on that on Sunday. I can't wait to teach you. So okay, thank you for listening to my TED Talk, and we will get back to our readings. Oh, plus it is on there. Okay. So up next we have Salama. Salama. That's right. May I have a reading for the new office I joined recently in the month of June? Okay, lovely. So a new office space for you. I'm guessing that is like a new job. You're not just moving into a new office. It says join. So cool. Let's get a reading for that. I think we'll switch it up to, whoa, all kinds of cards flying all over the place. Well, we're going to switch it up to the more traditional Rider-Waite Tarot deck. Yeah, and there's a good chance Candy might join us for that class as well online. It's a great chance for you to meet her as well and interact with her a bit. I am still working on a way to get Candy in on some audio in here. Thank you, Noah. Welcome in. First time we've seen you in here tonight. Pretty sure the first time you joined the live. Noah is also a personal friend of mine and former coworker. Unfortunately, Noah, we are filled up for free readings tonight. So I'm kind of booked up, but you can always reach out to me personally if you want one, or maybe you can get in here a little earlier and we'll get you a reading if you want. But thanks for showing up, Noah. I always appreciate the support. And yes, indeed, that is young Noah. Okay, so Salama, what's going on with your new office? Okay. Alrighty, we got the World. Ooh, powerful, very powerful. The Page of Pentacles and the Fool. Really loving the Fool this week. Last couple weeks, we've seen a lot of the Fool. Always a great card, like these new beginnings. So the office, you're joining this new office, and this is like a powerful bit of evolution for you. This joining the new office is very symbolic for you. It's symbolic of your evolution and your power. So you are really stepping into a great mastery in your career and in your work, and in the other parts of your lives as well. And that's what the world is really about. It is your reminder that you have the power to do anything, that you have the creative force of the universe at your disposal, at your command. As long as you let that flow through you and what you're doing is true to yourself, you will achieve it. And so you really can do anything. And with this new office, there's some really like youthful energy going on here. So that's going to bring like a greater sense of just sort of joy into your work and the work that goes on in this office, and with these people. And so that's going to be nice. That's going to be like a lighter mood to this. Now, Page of Pentacles is this young thing, and it is a bit about, around, wealth and resources and money. It can be a little bit unstable, but I sense that it's not so much about like, it's not to say like your finances will become unstable. I think this is more about the people that you're going to interact with. You're going to find some younger folks, or people who are just less accomplished at some of this work. So it's going to be a bit of an opportunity for you to share your wisdom and achievement with them and provide a little bit of leadership and mentorship to them, even if that's not like your formal role or responsibility in this place. But that's going to be a very rewarding piece of this for you. And again, out of that will be like this just renewed sense of joy, and lightness around your work and things that you're doing. So some really beautiful things are coming out of this new office for you, and just roll with it and enjoy it. And with some really great things. Thanks for your question and reading tonight. And moving on, we have Merlib. And Merlib is our first love reading, just straight up love reading for the night. Heart's Frontier had a little bit about, some of that was about like a date coming up, but this is just like a true, just general love reading. I'm amazed that we got this far without any romance and love reading. So thank you for that. Last week it was the majority of love readings. So just loving the ebb and flow of this. Okay, so real quick, just because Salamet left a quote. I'm seriously challenged by two people who are working against me. Well, that reading that I see seems to suggest that that's going to take care of itself and in your favor. I really do sense that like this is going to open up and become a better thing for you. So do your best not to get too worried about it. Don't get too sucked into this. People who are sort of working against you, because ultimately the universe will take care of that. And I think if you get too hung up on that, you might trip yourself up. So try not to worry about it, because really good things are happening in this place. So back to your general love reading, Merlib. Okay. 7 of Swords, the Death card, well, and the High Priestess. Oh, very interesting. How very interesting. So a lot of your love life in the past has left you with there's a lot of things in your past relationships that just sort of weren't fulfilling. So you've had a lot of these relationships, many relationships, where a lot of it seemed good, kind of more on the surface. It seemed like fun or enjoyable, and you're, attracted to the person you're involved with and excited. But especially looking back, since they've ended, looking back on it from your future self, from the current place you're in, it's just like, oh, there's an emptiness there. There's something that you weren't getting out of these relationships. And I sense that it's kind of the same thing with all of them. So there's some kind of common theme in your love life where you are attracting a certain type of person. They're all sort of lacking the same thing that you need and want and deserve in a relationship. So that's very interesting. And so then the death card here really speaks to your own transformation. It certainly isn't about actually dying, so please don't worry. But you've been here for enough of these readings, so you know my speech about the death card. But it's the end of your old self. And so what you're trying to understand and explore is like, what part of yourself was attracting these relationships? And how can you sort of shed that? You know, there's often, there's so often like, you know, we like, we attract people in certain ways. So, that's a tricky one to articulate. Bear with me. We often seek approval from people. And in our romantic relationships, especially, we're seeking some approval and validation. And we do that in certain ways, and a lot of that's conditioned again by our childhood. So the ways in which we had to act to get attention and approval from parents and other elders in our life and teachers and stuff as well. And so I think that's the place you need to explore, because some part of that is attracting somebody into your life. Oh, welcome in, Emma. Into your life that just, again, aren't serving you very well. So you have these relationships, some parts of them are great, but there's a deeper fulfillment you're not getting out of it. And that's what you need to understand and then put to rest in yourself. And the high priestess here is really just saying, like, you know, she's the keeper of inner wisdom. So this is what you have to look inward at. You know, you're looking inward and do this sort of inner work and exploration. And that's about as much detail as I can really get out of a simple sort of mini reading. If it's something you'd like to explore further through tarot, I could certainly offer you an in-depth reading, and you can book one virtually through the link that's in the description for the video for this live. And there is a discount code in there for 33% off, and I do them live over Zoom, so they're interactive. You get to talk to me and see the cards and have some back and forth, and it might be a great way for you to really explore what this is, what it is about you, and how you can change and grow to attract better relationships into your life. But that's sort of the phase your love life is entering in right now. So I hope that made some sense. I felt a little inarticulate about it, but that's really what's going on. So thanks for your question, Merlib. And we'll get right on to Chargers fan. And thank you, Emma, for dropping in. So now I have a former coworker and current coworker here in the chat. Thanks for showing up, Emma. Unfortunately, we did fill up the list. So I don't think I can get a reading in for you tonight, but we see each other on a daily basis. So if you ever want a reading, as you know, we can always just do it privately. No problem. But thanks for sticking around. It'll be cool for you to kind of see what tarot readings are like. And moving on, we've got Charger Fan 870. Some of my favorite questions. I love all your questions. But we've always got like a cool martial arts question. So, should you train in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with or without a gi, and why? The why part is going to be fun. And I love these because they're a little bit different from the standard questions, and they challenge me as a reader and make it kind of interesting. So let's see. Let's see, Charger Fan. Should you wear the gi? Well, I don't know. I personally, I would. Gi is cool. I would wear it. But what does Spirit think? Well, there's the World card again. so you all can't hear Candy in the other room, but she was like naked BJJ. I believe that's called Greco-Roman wrestling. Oh, we have fun here. As serious as tarot can be, we have fun. So the gi question is very interesting. So we have the world card, and the figure in the world is almost naked, but does sort of have this robe, sort of, this like very small little robe, sort of draped around her body. And then the other two characters also have like these draped robes. Now the thing is, in the traditional tarot deck, I gotta look because I think kind of all of them have like a cape or cloak or a tunic. Yeah, they really do. Thing about a gi is it's not like a long robe, so this is very interesting. Um, hmm. Well, honestly, what I get from this is I'm gonna go with no gi. Because she's barely like this is barely on her. And then in this one, like this guy is essentially dead. So even though he has like that robe, that clothing, it didn't serve him very well. So I'm leaning towards no gi. That's sort of the intuitive thing I'm getting. Um, and the why of it, I'm almost have a stronger sense of why you shouldn't. My sense is that like the gi is going to cause a problem for you during training or sparring. Like there's going to be like if you wear it like this it's basically like a wardrobe malfunction type thing will happen where you get like tangled up in it because I don't know, somehow it like cuts loose or tears in a weird way, like especially if you're when you're actually like grappling with somebody. And I don't know that it's going to cause you like this horrible injury, but it might cause like a minor thing, um have you kind of fall kind of funny or something like that. I don't get a good vibe around the gi for you. So um yeah, something or like the grips. Sorry, I can't get more specific with that. I've never trained in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so I'm not the most knowledgeable about it. I've always just sort of been a fan of martial arts and martial art films and stuff. But yeah, I think I sense like no gi because it's just going to get in your way in some way. So hopefully I'm right about that. Um, and hopefully that gives you some guidance going forward. So thanks again, Charger fan. I really love these questions, and they're just such a fun challenge for me. So thanks again for showing up tonight, and I appreciate that. So we'll move on. We've got Slow DZ up next. Slow DZ is still wondering about their career. Oops, I deleted way too many. Okay, we gotta fix that. Oh, the queue is always like takes up our time. Queue management. I swear someday I'll have like the fancy streaming software that does all this, but of course you can all help make that happen by liking the video and subscribing. And also if you are able to and feel inclined, leaving a donation. The donation link is in the thing, or even better, I feel even better than about this than donations. Take the beginner's tarot class on Sunday. Like I said, it's only $18, and you'll be reading tarot for yourself in 3 hours, and it's amazing. I highly encourage you to check it out. And very soon, I will probably post a replay of it just on the YouTube for everyone to see, so that you can kind of get a preview of it as well. So again, make sure you're subscribed to the channel so that you'll find out when I put that up, because I would like you to get a look at that as a preview. Okay. So, oh man, I made such a mess out of this. I apologize for the delay, everyone. Okay, Slow DZ, you're up next. Slow DZ asks, will I end up back at Amazon warehouse? So at Amazon, either in the warehouse of Amazon or the office of Amazon, I think is what you mean, or are these all just separate jobs, like completely separate possible jobs? Let me know in the chat just so I have a little bit of reference. I was an Amazon driver for 6 months, so I definitely kicked around the warehouse quite a bit. I know what that's like. So that was a trip. Driving the Amazon van was a trip, man. Wow. They're all just separate jobs. Okay, so it's Amazon, a different warehouse, or a completely different office. Okay, that helps. Thank you, Slow Easy. Let's see about that. I already have a little bit of a sense, but oh, there's that 10 of Swords again. Ooh, Ace of Cups. That's fun. And King of Swords. So with this, there's like this strong theme of the swords. So the swords are like intellect, communication, and influence, and also conflict sometimes. Um, yeah, the Amazon, the warehouse part of it is tough too. Like working in the Amazon sort facility is not easy. Driving the vans is really hard. It's tough. But anyway, um, for you, I sense there's this theme of intellect here. And so that speaks to working more in an office, right? Because an office is more, it's a white collar type job. So you're doing desk work of some kind, you're making calls and communicating with people, sending emails and all that kind of stuff. Very much more like seems like an office. And so the preponderance of swords here is pulling me into that. Also, it may be, I sense the office job is something that is actually like a step forward for you beyond working in a warehouse or at Amazon. And so the 10 of Swords is like the end of things, the conclusion of something. And so, really, like maybe the conclusion of like your old self, of like this person who had to work at a, warehouse type job at times to support yourself. You've evolved from that. Your skills and professionalism have moved forward. And Ace of Cups speaks to, but more broadly, like you're gonna find some new joy and maybe make some new friends wherever you end up at. So if the office is really where you would enjoy yourself, probably, and be less stressed, that's probably where you're gonna end up. So I'm definitely leaning towards, and I'm sensing like an office job for you, and I think it will come pretty quickly for you. It's coming. So yeah, so that is where we are headed. Thank you for coming in, Latesh. Unfortunately, we have closed the queue for the evening. I'm kind of filled up for free readings tonight, so I can't get you in for a reading this evening, although I do really appreciate your question. But please subscribe to the channel, and make sure you click the bell icon so that you know when we go live. It's usually Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Mountain U.S. time, Denver U.S. time. Not sure what time that is where you are, but if you get in here a little bit earlier in the evening, I think we can get you into the queue. So I'm very sorry that we can't accommodate your question tonight, but we've just run out of time and room. So you're welcome, Slow Deezy, for the reading. Always happy to read for you, and great to see you again in here. I wish you great luck with the job. Magic Dust, you're up next. And Magic Dust asks, what business will be good for me to start? I'm good at communicating. Well, maybe we'll pull a bunch of swords for you. We'll see. Let's see. Okay. Magic Dust. What business will be good for you to start? Let's see. Well, we have 9 of coins here. We have the devil. That's kind of interesting in the context of this. And the Ace of Pentacles. Okay. So this is kind of interesting because there's some different themes here. I don't really know what to do with the devil in this card. I think the devil speaks to, yeah, more broadly, like trying to find your niche. And like, the devil is really like you're allowing your sort of more animalistic and primal things, self and instincts to sort of run away with you. And you can become a slave to those things. Um, and so the context of that is kind of interesting. Um, it kind of speaks to the types of businesses that you maybe shouldn't start. But also like maybe you're a little too wrapped up in like figuring out the exact niche. I think part like so some of this is like you may have to try some things, and I know that's tough because you want to start a business and you want to just grow and succeed. But I do see a broader sense. There's a broader theme here of like the outdoors. So one thing that'll keep you away from the devil in this is like there's got to be a business that involves being more outdoors and working with your hands a bit. And that doesn't mean you're not going to communicate with people. And especially like it's a business. So here's the thing: the communication piece of it is so important and helpful, no matter what business you are running, no matter what you're actually doing to provide a service or a product to people. The communication piece of it is just so essential, and so it's going to serve you well no matter what. And yet, I sense that in terms of like the work of the business, it's something that gets you outdoors a little bit. It does involve some amount of like working with hands and working with your hands, um, maybe other people's hands, but definitely working with your own hands and being outside, doing more of that kind of thing. There's just so much like beautiful nature in these other two cards. It almost just feels like landscaping, honestly, or something along those lines. Um, which is really interesting because I remember in some past readings we've talked about some of these things. And yeah, I think I really sense that you're meant to like be doing something that involves some actual like dirt in the earth and things that are growing. So this might be more along the lines of like some kind of landscaping services or maintenance type business or something. And I think that's maybe where you're heading for the time being. Now, that's not to say that that's the only thing you'll ever do in your life. Although that can be a very rewarding and lucrative business to start, and to some extent, a little bit easier from the perspective of like everyone needs landscaping, everyone needs those kinds of services. It's pretty easy for people to buy that kind of thing. It's different when you work in kind of my niche, where you're offering things like life coaching, or if you're like a holistic healer, you're doing energy healing. It's hard for the general public to get their heads around what that really is. Ah, yes, the pressure washing. That's what it is. Um, a good night, Noah. Thanks for stopping in. I really appreciate the support, buddy. So, yeah, and I know in the last reading we kind of talked about the pros and cons of the pressure washing versus the other thing, um, which was not nearly as outdoorsy. And you're probably meant to do both at some point in your life. So, the pressure washing, I remember because in the reading we talked more about how the pressure washing, again, is something that you can start up and really kind of have some success at early on. And so now that makes a little more sense with the devil. I think that's what you're meant to do right now. I think that's the first thing you're meant to start. Um, and you'll do well at it, but don't get too sucked into like that's all you're ever going to do. You'll succeed at it, and then you might kind of just get pulled into like that. And further down the line, you may not take the time to broaden your horizons and consider other things. Because really, like you can have lots of different businesses, especially once they're established and you have help and stuff. You don't have to be doing all the work. Um, so yeah, maybe lean into the pressure washing a little more. And I apologize a bit if that's a bit of a contradiction to last week's guidance. But it feels a lot stronger to me in these cards this week. So hopefully that will steer you right. And thanks for the question, Magic Dust, and I hope that pans out. So keep us up to date on how that is working out as you go forward. And we're getting now down the last like 5 or so readings. Pretty good. 6 readings. Yep. Alrighty. Bruh man, you're up next. And bruh man asks, bruh, what will the qualities, good or bad, of my next woman? What will be the qualities, good or bad, of my next woman partner? Okay. 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 What about your next woman? Here are some qualities. There's a bunch of qualities here. Wow, all the wands. So she's going to be something else. So your next partner, your next woman partner, and it's up to you to decide whether these are good or bad things. It's really about who you are as a person and what you need and want in a partner. But here's some of the things I see in her qualities. So there's all these wands. Pulled 3 wands. So wands, the suit of wands is the element of fire. So she is someone who will have a bit of a fiery personality. Again, can be a wonderful thing, can be a bad thing. Really depends on how you feel about it. But she is going to be a very sort of passionate person, have very strong drive, and have a lot of drive to do things in her life, and build her own career and things like that. It's all the wands. She will be someone who is fairly worldly, so she has an interest in the world beyond her immediate town, city, what have you. She's someone who's always sort of looking to broader horizons and to expand herself as a human being. She is also someone who enjoys, so she's also someone who is a fairly organized and orderly person. That's the energy of the King of Wands. And in a more toxic version of that is she might be kind of demanding in particular. Again, it's not to say any of these things are good or bad. Her orderly nature might be really good for you. You'll probably see both of it. You see the best and the worst of all these qualities. They can go both ways. And then 5 of Wands, she is someone who does, to some extent, sort of concern herself with what other people think, with their opinions, and cares about that to a degree. Again, that can be a good or bad thing. And also someone who is good at, going with the King energy a bit, she's also someone who's good at organizing others and groups of people and sort of leading them into activities or working on common goals. So those are all things you're going to find in this woman. Sort of this very, I don't want to say she's going to be bossy. She could be. That might be not good, but she has those qualities. So she's going to be someone who's very accomplished. Take that, do with that what you will, but that's what I see. So thank you for your question, bruh. Thanks for joining us again tonight. Moving on, we're getting down to like the last 4, and I'll just stop updating the screen list because it'll just save us some time. So Leo Moon is up. I just love that. I love that name, So the Leo, sign of Leo is like also associated with the sun, which is like the opposite of the moon. So it's a very interesting thing. Or maybe it means that you're moon sign is Leo, like in your chart. I don't know how much astrology. I mean, obviously you get into some astrology, but I'd be curious. So, Leo Moon asks, "Will my book help open other doors for me?" Oh, lovely. Uh, I'm really interested in this book. I know we talked about this a little bit last week, so let's see what Spirit has to say about this book. And Leo, I get the sense that you're someone who might really enjoy and get a lot out of learning to read tarot. So if that interests you, please check out the link that I have pinned in the chat. Has all the details on my next class on Sunday, and I'll be expanding those offerings in June as well. So if you can't make it then, there'll be other chances. And for the rest of this, for this last one this month, price is $18. That will go up a little bit starting in June. So just something to consider. But let's see, what will your book open up for you for other doors? Well, King of Cups, okay. Knight of Swords, all the court cards. So this book will open up a lot of opportunities for you. One, it establishes your authority and presence with other people. So the fact that you have this book shows to other people like you're an authority on this subject that you're writing about. So it gives you prominence in this field, in this whatever it is, in this subject. And it will really take off. So people are going to be excited about this book. And I sense it will bring a lot of opportunities to you. The swords, very much that suit of influence and communication. So this book is going to open up opportunities for like speaking, for giving workshops, also just appearances on things like podcasts and other types of interviews and media. Really powerful. It's going to open up a lot for you. And with that, you are just going to continue to build on all of the success and hard work that you've already put in. So the book, it's going to help the book pay off for itself, but it's also going to pave its way towards not just that greater exposure, but opportunities to do a lot of other things, like offering things like one-on-one coaching and stuff like that, or group coaching and all that whole world of like, the stuff that I do and that I'm working on. So yeah, a lot of great things will come from your book. I'm really excited about it. And I will definitely check it out. Once you have it out there, please let me know, because I would love to give it a read. I don't have a lot of time to read these days, but I'm definitely interested in that, Leo. So really good opportunities will emerge from this. Basically the world. So you've got that to look forward to. And that's pretty long term. That's not just like this week. So next up we have Panya, and Panya has asked for general reading tonight. I'm so glad to hear that the truck worked. Tarot is, I find as a tarot reader, those are some of the hardest things to get accurately, or like these really specific kind of things that are like a very discrete outcome, right? Like, will the truck run or not? Will this person get elected or not? That kind of thing. For me, tarot is very like an introspective thing. It's really about sort of self-awareness and understanding. So it's much better suited for like understanding, why am I struggling in my love life, or where's my career head, or what should I do, and that kind of thing. So I'm just so thrilled to hear that I was right, because I do occasionally get things wrong, and that's okay. Well, there's one of your cards. Let's keep it a mystery. It's the mystery fly out. In fact, let's make it last. I think that's a little exciting. Okay. Okay, Panya. Let's see here. So we have the mystery card. So we have 3 of Cups. the Five of Swords, and then what's this one? So this is pretty interesting. And for you, the Three of Cups, this card is kind of more like the past and leading up right into the present. And so this is a card of like sharing knowledge and instruction, maybe even receiving education or instruction from others or mentorship. And so you've engaged with quite a bit of that in your past in various things. It could be, things related around more like career and hobbies or whatever it is. Um, and then there's this like looking back with the Five of Swords. In your case, this isn't so much about conflict. Like, it's really more about like looking back, probably looking back at these experiences. Like maybe you're yearning to learn something new, or maybe even thinking back on like a good experience that you had where someone else taught you something. And maybe starting to feel a bit like you should be teaching or mentoring or sharing your expertise or knowledge or wisdom with people in a different way that you haven't before. I think that's really the sense I'm getting from here and from these cards. And that is your path to some riches and abundance. It may not just be sort of material wealth, but a feeling of richness in your life. Maybe you're feeling like you're lacking a little bit. And I do know you love to garden. So it's not your actual garden, but I do get this sense that that you're being pulled into sort of, again, sharing some knowledge or expertise or wisdom, sort of teaching people something. It may just be a simple craft or hobby. Maybe you're supposed to like help other people learn how to garden or something like that. It's hard to say exactly when. It might be that, really. It might be like, teaching people how to raise plants or propagate things, or start a garden. So that's what you're being called to do, and I think you're going to get a lot of great satisfaction out of that. And I hope that gives you some inspiration going forward into the summertime here. Yeah, so thanks again for showing up, Panya, and I really hope to see you in the class on Sunday as well. That's going to be so awesome for us. So thank you again. I think on my end, the chat has crashed. Hold on. Just give me one moment, folks. I need to reopen chat. It's not, I think it got hung up on my screen. Yep. Okay, good. Now I'm caught up. So Panya says maybe yoga again. Yeah, that's a good one. I know I was going on about the gardening. But yoga is like that's an activity of the body. So these pentacles certainly can be speaking to that as well. It's this very earthly thing and very grounding. So thank you for your patience. I got the chat going again. It kind of lagged. So okay, we're getting down to it. The last two. We got Virgo Star is next. Good. More love readings. We didn't get enough of those tonight, so thank you, Virgo. And I say that with sincerity. Will I be in a love relationship this year? Yes or no? Well, I think we can do a little better than a simple yes or no, my friend. Let's see what we can find out. What does Spirit want you to know about your love life this year? Well, we have Queen of Pentacles. We have the Ace of Wands. So new things. And there's that Eight of Swords again. All very interesting. So while we don't see any cups here, and cups are usually like the thing that's really much about relationships, there is a strong sense that You will be in a new relationship this year. It might take some time to develop. It might not really show up until the fall, maybe. I sense it's not going to be real soon, like next week. But you're gonna end up with someone who has a good sense of like maturity and purposefulness. So someone who's fairly grounded, someone who's not real flighty. The ace here is new things, and so again speaks to this idea that you will find a love relationship that year. Um, and so that's just like the new thing. And you might meet this person, like you might be out doing a new activity or engaging in something new in your life, and that's how you meet them. So that's pretty cool. And then what is the Eight of Swords telling us here? Well, I would say the Eight of Swords here is really just telling you not to like try too hard to find this person. Like they're going to come to you and it's going to just sort of show up when you're doing something or you're in a situation where you're not expecting to meet them. And so, the blind woman here is just like, it's just like go through your life and just live and just worry and focus. Don't worry, but focus on the other things in your life that you're doing, enjoying the moment that you're in, doing the things that give you purpose and meaning in life, and it will come to you. Don't get too hung up on like, how am I going to find this person, where am I going to go searching for this Queen of Pentacles. you know it's when you try too hard to find someone, is like that's the worst way, like that's the way to not find somebody. um so yeah, just like take it easy, take a breath. I know it's hard because when you're feeling lonely, you want to be with somebody. We start kind of searching, and it's totally understandable. That's human nature. There's no shame in that. But just try not to get too sucked into that searching. Let it come to you, and you will find this person. And I sense that you'll have a really nice relationship with them. I don't see anything further or any more detail about this relationship, but it is going to happen. So, and it will happen this year. So, thanks for that. Love reading, Virgo Star. Um, Finally, we're last reading for the night. Blessed 3066. I am interacting with 3 recruiters right now. I want to know, will any one of this discussion turn to a job offer? And by when should I expect a job change? Okay. Well, recruiters are always interesting to deal with. When I worked in IT like 20 odd years ago, definitely had recruiters. So that's an interesting thing. They're an interesting it's an interesting way to like go, to like find a job. But okay. So Page of Swords, the Chariot. Oh, there's that three. That three of pentacles. Okay. So exactly one of the 3 recruiters will make you an offer. One of the recruiters will kind of pass you over for some jobs. Sort of like an objection on grounds of like, you need to learn some other skill. We don't feel like you have quite the right skills. At least that's what they're going to tell you. You never know with those recruiters. Like they're not always being honest about when you get sort of passed over or denied a job. So that's kind of what Three of Pentacles is like saying, is like they're going to be like, you don't quite have the education. And it's not to say you're not educated, but not exactly what we're looking for. The one of the other recruiters will be very kind of flighty with you and kind of jerk you around a bit, sort of intimating like, we might have a position, I think you might fit here, or maybe they'll even like sort of feign an offer, maybe like a lowball kind of offer and like almost insulting kind of offer, and without any real intention of you taking the job, kind of thing. But one of the recruiters will make you a solid offer. And that's what the Chariot is telling me. There's a momentum there. This is the momentum of your career and your professional life. And so that will carry you through. So I expect one of these three recruiters to make you a good offer. As far as how soon that will happen, Chariot is always interesting because it can be very fast, but it starts off very slow. So a lot of this has to do with like where the momentum is in any of this. But typically recruiters move fairly quick. So I think that offer will come pretty soon. It might not be next week, but maybe a matter of weeks, maybe like a month and a half, like 6 weeks at most, maybe a little bit sooner than that. Yeah, I'm feeling like that 4 to 6 week range. And these other things will also happen with it too. So, yeah. So just be on the lookout for that. But you are going to find something really good out of these recruiters. So just make sure you hold out. Like if you get a recruiter who really seems like they're jerking you around, they're trying to like lowball you on an offer, or they're like, oh, well, we have a job for you. It's not really what you wanted. It's kind of beneath you kind of thing. That's not the one. Like, just let that go. The good offer will come to you from one of the other recruiters. So I hope that serves you well, and I really hope that comes to be true. Thank you, Blessed, for your question. Thank you all for your questions and sticking around right up to the end. We still have 11 viewers in tonight. Yeah, it's been a wonderful evening. I can't thank you all enough. And again, a great way to support me, really the best way, and it's a win-win. It's a win for me and you, is to consider taking the tarot class. If this Sunday doesn't work for you, certainly just stay in the loop. Keep an eye out on my website, and I'll be announcing more dates going into June. But if you're free this Sunday, it's just a few hours of your time. It's so much fun, and it's really enriching. So really, click the link, the pinned link, and give that some consideration. And hopefully, I will see you on Sunday. But if not, I definitely know I'll see you all back next Thursday for the Tarot Tribe. So I hope you all have a beautiful week, and I love all of you.